What's going on, guys? Today we have the very last HG Gundam in this Double O-CTOBER review set. And it is, of course, the very last one from the Awakening of the Trailblazer movie, the Harute Gundam. Well, sort of Harute. I mean, it's cut off a little bit, right? So, much like all of the other boxes so far, they have partially cut it off, but this is the first one you can pretty much read. You can actually see it says Harute, and that's pretty awesome. Now, this one is kind of my favorite, I think. Quanta is good, Raphael's neat, Zabania's got a lot of guns, but I think this one is probably my favorite. It has really good design and combines a lot of the things I liked about its predecessors. And that is actually something that they literally did to make this. If you really want to go in the history of it, it is kind of a combination of all of its predecessors. The Kyrios, Arios, and the Jin Archer. So it kind of has aspects from all of those things to make it just awesome. So let's look at the box real quick. And of course you get the Awakening of the Trailblazer emblem there. A great shot of Harute just, shooting and being great. And of course you get a transform shot of it, sort of blurry here in the background. The great particle effects there. It's something that, not all of them do have it on the box, but it is pretty cool. You get the nice thrusters kind of happening here. Shootings, explosions, everything. I like how in the movie box it's like all white on the front instead of being like space or whatever. It's just straight up white and a few details. I like that. And down here, HG00 as usual. Bandai down here as usual. Of course, it was made in 2010. That's pretty cool. On the bottom of the box, we have lots of details. So we've got some weaponry here. Looks like a big sword thingy. You got its flight mode right here. I guess that's talking about the shoulders. I don't know. I'm not entirely certain what they're pointing at right there. Shoulders, legs, things that move, I assume. And then, of course, you get a shot right there of it in action pose. That's pretty cool. Of course, the mode change, as it is, one of the transforming Gundams. So it's pretty cool. And you get another great shot of it wielding its weapons in sword mode. I guess this is gun mode. Sword mode, gun mode, sword mode, gun mode. Are we sick yet? Moving on. And then, of course, it has more theories. It can open. Legs do things. The waist does things. Foot does things. Shoulders does things. Or shoulders do things for English-speaking people. And then here, of course, you get the clear plastic parts. Little tabby tab. And it can be mounted on a stand because it would kind of be crappy if it didn't. I just dropped the box, guys. Okay, come to the side and you have a less readable Harute there, but a nice little close-up of the front box art. Nothing different here. It is number 68 in the line, so that's pretty cool. Come to the back. You can actually read Harute right there. It is GN011, so one of the very last ones. Of course, you get the measurements and stuff here. So it's 19 meters tall, 77.8 tons. So it's both taller but lighter than so are the others. But it's pretty awesome. Of course, you get the read up right there. I'll give you a second. You can't read that. Then you get the obligatory front and rear shot there. You got a little shot of Alleluia talking there. And of course, Harute shooting. That's pretty awesome. Of course, mode change because it goes into flight position mode. And then you get the pilots. This is the only one that has multiple pilots. So you actually get Alleluia and Mari, or Soma Pieris, one way or the other. I do like the fact that they both pilot this thing. It's pretty cool. He flies and she shoots. It's actually much like a fighter jet. Pretty cool. You get the little plastics thing there, little guy with the toilet. Come over here. You got the stuff in box can hurt your 3-year-old warning, as usual. You get 1,800 yen. Probably paid thereabouts, $20 probably. And then, of course, the box art is by Naochika Morishita. I'm assuming this won't be the last thing we see by you. But it's upside down anyways. Ugh. Always great box art. Never right side up. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at this thing. Alright guys, now we've got Harute out of the display and kind of set up here in his awesome robot mode. And yeah, this thing is bulky as all get out, guys. And you can see, if you go back and look at the other reviews of the previous kits, he has a lot going for him. Very, very similar to both Curios and Arios. He kind of has shoulders very, very similar to the Curios, the way they're nice and pointy. The legs are a lot more like Arios. The little crotch sections here are a little bit kind of in between. And of course he has the giant pods on the back, just like the Gian Archer. I'll go ahead and do a quick turn around here and see some of the details. And there is a lot going on with this guy. It's pretty cool. Of course, much like the Gian Archer, he wears his flight mode as a backpack. So, you know, you've got everything going on here. And it, of course, is a completely different color than his robot mode. And I really like the duality of that. It's pretty cool. And I like that they do some nice color separation on these parts. And as usual, you guys know the drill. There's a lot of paint on this guy. A lot of sticker apps. Go ahead and take his weapons. Oh yeah, I forgot. That one doesn't just come out of the hand now. I'll go ahead and pull the hand off. Just to make my life easy. And this one just slides right out as usual. He wobbles. Go ahead and take a closer look. He does actually have a poly cap in the crotch there for stand purposes, and that's actually kind of nice in this case. Let's go ahead and get a close-up on the head, because he has a very, very interesting head. Here we go. Now, he actually does have a kind of a clear visor there, but the eyes are directly behind it. There's a cool thing that Harute does, just not in this form, where the head transforms and they go into Marute mode. So it kind of lifts up a little bit. The V-fins here sort of split a little, and he has 6 red eyes glowing, and it looks awesome. And unfortunately, this one doesn't even come with like an alternate head for that, and I really wish it did. It sort of takes the place of Trans Am mode, more or less, but it's really, really awesome when they do that. But like I said, you get the eye sticker in there. You do get a little bitty camera sticker right there. No gem on the forehead for this guy. But as I mentioned before, lots and lots of paint apps, guys. All over the chest right there. All of that gray under there and even under there. Right here, actually, behind these pieces, a little bit of gray there just to actually break that up, or else it would be white and just wouldn't stand out. Down here, same thing here between these little pieces on the knees. All of that had to be painted because it was all white. Come down to the feet, same thing there. Same thing under here, all of that. Nope, actually that, I was going to say that, but that's actually not painted. That's actually molded. That's a little bit of green. I think that was actually supposed to be there. You got gray here. Of course, same thing on that side. Get a little bit of green here, though that might have been more of my custom touch than anything else, but it looks really good because it's actually kind of a thruster slash booster. I didn't have the ability to really do a lot of good cleanup there, so you can see it's really rough around the edges. Just tried to scrape off excess. Now on these pods here, there's a lot of extra detail. I'm starting to look at this, I'm wondering, there must have been some bleed through or something, because I'm seeing gold paint right through here. I'm fairly certain that doesn't split open. If it did, it'd be awesome, but it doesn't. Alright, so you can see, I believe, right through here, this is all paint. I doubt they cast that in a different color. So this is a dark gray, this is a lighter gray, this is a different gray. And then of course you get some green here. Once again, a little bit of slop on the paint there, my bad. Oh, and then right here, I actually used some brown panel lining. I think for any of the orange, I used brown panel lining and then cleaned up with the black. Come back here, you get the great big Gian Vernier right back there. Of course, painted gold, as all of the others have been so far. Right back here on the rear missile pod, all of that painted dark gray over all of the missile covers, just to break it up. This was not painted. That actually came in the right color for once. Great big red cockpit sticker underneath the clear plastic this time, so it actually has a cool effect. I like that. Sort of wish they had done that with the others, but the others were just on top of the bare molded plastic. You get a couple stickers right here. They're not exactly reflective green. They're almost a light blue. I kind of dig that, though. Just breaking up the color scheme just a little bit. And that's kind of it. Oh, I forgot the G and verniers under the legs. Sorry, right there. It actually helps to be able to see things when you're showing them to people. Now, I gotta wonder... Oh. Does that separate? I might have to look at the instructions, because I'm seeing gold paint under things that I didn't think moved. Alright guys, hold on. Let me put this guy on the stand right quick. I really want to look this up before I forget about it. Like that. Be right back. Okay, so I think what I did, anticipating this being able to open, I definitely painted a gold line in there. You can totally see that. So while this does not open up, which I clearly thought it would, or thought it did, I painted gold inside there. So you can see little tiny peaks of gold sticking out. Oh well, just something that's in there. Alright, let's go ahead and push these back so we can do articulation. The head is very well articulated because there's no collar on it. So he can go all the way around with a tiny bit of finagling. Gotta watch the shoulders a little bit. Oh, and a little bit of green paint back of the head. Come on. Come on, get all the way around. There you go. The chin, the really pointy chin gets in the way. Alright, and because it doesn't have a lot, you can do a major turkey neck. And of course you can see, right there on the next bit, ab crunch. It actually does have a nice movable ab crunch. And just like he did on, I think it was Kyrios, or Arios, he could do this part right here. It's nice and open, I like that. Shoulders are very much like the, well, kind of like both of them. But I think Arios does it more open. Like it has the polycaps open to the top for transformation purposes, so you can reach way up. And then you can rotate all the way around, just depending on where it hits. It might not. Yep, okay. I lied, it doesn't go all the way around because of the backpack. If you remove the whole backpack, it will go all the way around. Like I said, you can do that. His arm can do a really good hey teacher, but of course he doesn't have a hand, so hey. Alright, you do get bicep rotation. However, this big elbow bit right here won't let it go all the way around. And even though that is on a nice little flappy motion, it doesn't help you out any. You do get the normal single elbow. However, because of the way the armor is cut, you do get a decent bend out of it. It's a little bit more than a 90. I do dig that. And of course, like all the other kits in this line, you get the secondary wrist articulation or the long elbow kind of situation going on there. And then this hand, of course, it rotates like so. Alright, and we already talked ab crunch. Get out of the way. Everything is in the way on this guy, guys. He's not going to go all the way around. There's just way too much stuff in the way, but he does rotate a good bit, and of course he can flex side to side because that center bit is just loose. You do get some nice ball joint mounted skirts that can turn this way. No side skirts, of course, for transformation, which means he can almost do something here, but the way they limited the legs, you're not going to get anything. They're just ball joint mounted legs, sadly. And you don't even get a really good leg rotation. It can only go about that far. So, as for knees, you should have, oh, see, ball joints. There's so much going on here, you can't actually bend the knees worth the dang. But it does have double jointed knees here and here. So you're only going to get about that much out of him right there. So that's sad, but he's for flying, guys. He does have a butt skirt, and it does move just a little bit, but obviously the backpack is in the way. I'm not going to bother taking the backpack off just to show that. He has a tiny bit of articulation with the knee armor, whoop-de-doo, and the foot is on a ball joint right here. Can go all the way around for some reason. He does get the toe point as part of the transformation, and of course this little ankle skirt also moves as part of the transformation. And then if we come to the back, you do get a nice little hinge right there. You do get, excuse me, rotation there, and if you hold it, you can technically rotate it even more because it has a polycap here as well. So that's pretty cool. I do really like this guy. Go ahead and set him on the stand, and we will talk about weapons. So I'm going to go ahead and put the skirt back on, get him reorganized here. Alright, so we sort of saw the weapons whenever we opened up here. So he has these really, really cool, like GN sword slash guns. I like them. These are nice and hefty and big, and because they are a rifle. Oh wait, how does it go into rifle mode? Does it just slide? Yeah. Okay, I knew it did something. Okay, so that's rifle mode, so I had it mistransformed. And you can see right in there, that also got some painting, some dark gray and some silver. They do give you stickers for parts of this. Like this is supposed to be a sticker. I believe this was too, but I went ahead and painted that. Even gave it a little bit of green in there because GN things, guys. You do get a great clear green plastic part there, as everything else did. I do believe there's a little bit more paint back here on the handle as well. Yep, just look at it that way. So it's a gun, but handle folds away, that tucks up, and it becomes a sword. Also has another mode. Skizzers. Chop, chop, chop. So if you thought that the Gujin Rebig Full City was the only one that ever got a good pair of nippers, chop, chop. Now, of course, inside here, just like you had to do on the Arios with its claws, you had to paint just like in here. So this is actually kind of where it gets the idea. These are very much like the shoulder claws on the Arios. So that's pretty cool. You can really see it here. And actually, I don't know if that's silver paint. It's got to be silver paint that I added there. That's pretty cool. So he, of course, gets two of these because symmetry, guys. And as you saw earlier, he can totally just hold the guns, no problem, like so. Well, I say no problem, but then it wants to fight me. It's because the wrist is bent up slightly. There we go. Alright, so he holds the gun, no problem. I do like that look. He's very serious like that, just yeah. And then, of course, the sword, you just turn it around and clamp the hand around it. These are standard HG hands. The back of the hand pops off. No big deal. Now, one thing is the way I have that hand rotated, I don't know if it'll... Oh, okay. I didn't think it would hold it, but it will. Okay. So you can actually use the forearm armor there to help hold it. That's not a bad look right there, guys. That's pretty awesome. I like that. Oh, and then, of course, sorry, a couple little more spots of gray right there. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look at his predecessors as well in robot mode. So there's Arios, and you can see there's quite a bit of difference, you know, but in the shoulders, well, I guess that's, okay, so the forearms, definitely, sorry, I gotta compare these things. Forearms are very much like his predecessor of Arios. And you get some of the leg parts, but not many of them. But you can see here, definitely with the sword parts are definitely supposed to replicate that look right there. Of course, you don't have the missile pods on this guy, but it does actually technically have heavy weapons on it already. You do keep these side thrusters on the legs, although they're closer to the knees than they are on the thighs. You do lose a lot of the other aspects because he's not made for in-atmosphere flight. He's actually made for, you know, fighting in space. So he loses all the wings and everything that normally would have. So let's bring in the Jin Archer as well. You can see the obvious similarities there, but the weapons pods now are a little bit sleeker. They've got some of the same aspects to them, but they also have these huge cannons on here instead. So that's, I really do like how they just developed this new suit. They didn't have the ability to create a brand new suit, but they could redesign what they already had. And there was enough left over after that final battle to really get that. And of course you have the 4 V-fins on here, just like this guy. And of course the transformation gimmick as well. It's kind of its own self, but it borrows a little bit from, I think, the head that the A-Laws were using. So that's actually a pretty handsome looking group right there. I like that. And if I if I could have found the adapter, then Arios would be on a stand as well. Kind of the same problem with Curios. So we'll bring Curios in for the transformation mode. Let's go ahead and pull these out of the way for now. Move the camera up, and we will transform this guy and girl, technically speaking. So let's get this off the stand if I can. Come on. There we go. Alright, come down to the legs. Fold the feet down. Fold that in. Kind of just straighten them out as best you can. And the legs do slide up in place. There's a real light click. It's not like a heavy duty, click. You feel it. You just sort of just know that it's tucked up in there. Like that. These don't move, unfortunately. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, you just leave the legs like that. The other ones you normally would turn or rotate the legs. But I do believe this one stays just like this. Fix the crotch like that. Go ahead and pull the sword out. Tuck the handle away. Actually, that's a gun. This one is the sword. I will have to remove it from the hand. Because unlike the Arios, it doesn't hold the weapon the same way in flight mode. Come on, get out of there. This one actually has a really, really tight backhand, or back of the hand armor. It's really, really tight. Like you can see, I'm kind of struggling to get it off. So, sword out of the way. Sword gun mode thing. Alright, like so. Tuck the hand in there. I do believe the hands need to be like this. I remember them being rotated. Okay, so backpack part is pretty obvious. The front of the legs stays pretty much like this. You do have to transform the chest slightly. Oop, that ball joint. Okay, so this slides out on a little double hinge, and like that, you tuck the head down like so, and just like the, I think it was the Curios, you tilt the arms like this and rotate to the side. That's why I think I got those hands facing potentially the wrong way, but it's not really going to hinder anything if I don't. So rotate that way, tuck the arms in like that. Looks like it's kind of a mess under here. Come on, cooperate. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and fold down the boosters. Where's that? Give me this. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do what I did there. So those are holding each other together. You got the boosters folded down. The head just tucks down like all of the others. Unfortunately, with this one, you don't get as much of the spikes coming through the back of something like you do on the previous ones. But they do stick up kind of nicely like that. Of course, you fold down the fake cockpit area, and you fold down the rocket or missile storage there. Make sure I got this pretty straight. And that's it for just normal transformation. Now you take the weapons, and you have the peg right there. It goes into this little polycap slot right here. And now it's like so. And like so. It's actually a pretty simple transformation compared to like a couple of the other ones. I do like that. And you do get the scissor gimmick here, so he can fly around and capture some enemies and, you know, tear them up like this. That's pretty awesome. And of course, like I said before, these are actually big beam cannons, hence why they have like little camera ports right there. That's awesome. I think, I might be wrong in stating it, but I think you can maybe pull out this gun mode too. Yeah, okay. So you can, in fact, have that open. I don't know what good that's going to do because it's not pointing straight ahead, but you never know. You got a good enough pilot, you can just shoot people wherever. Oh, there's a stupid skirt again. It just does not want to stay in there. That little rubber ball joint does not like staying on. Alright. There we go. Come on. Come on. Alright. And of course you can see in this mode, it is essentially the GN Archer pretty much with a few extra bits. Of course, this is left over from technically from a kit we never actually got with the Arios, but he did have a huge missile pod that could fit on the back. That was actually really, really cool. That was never really an option. Now this one suffers from a similar problem to the Arios in the fact that the crotch peg is kind of in there backwards. Or well, it would have been facing down. Now it's facing towards the rear. So if you put it on a normal stand like so, it will be pointed straight up. Which, you know, it looks pretty cool. I like that they keep kind of an insect sort of look going on here. I do like that. Of course, the legs are now a little funky. But let's see here. Where is my other stand? Okay, pull that out. And there you have it in flight mode, and it's really, really wanting to fall over. Not gonna lie. It's really, really wanting to fall over there. So, let's see. Even if I go to my highest point, I don't know if I can get a decent shot of it. So, there we go. I'll give it a little quick walk around here in flight mode. Now, I do really like this. This is, in fact, how I store mine, just like I do with the other two. They are all stored in flight mode because I actually have them flying over everyone else. As well, you know, they kind of should. Now, let's see here if I can get a little tilt on it. There we go. That looks pretty cool. I like that. Alright, now let's go ahead and pull out the other ones. Okay. So here we have the Arios Archer, as it was called. Next to Harute, which is, well, basically these two suits combined, more or less. And we do have Curios as well, but the stand is sort of being used already, so that's not going to work out too well. But we'll get him in the shot anyways, just for fun. Go ahead and... These guys are really wide, guys. There's a reason why they're flying, because they take up too much space. There we go. So, now we've got all three of Alleluia's suits together. Let's see if we can turn them face this way. Work a little bit better. That is kind of how they are displayed, so... That's pretty awesome, guys. I do really love these suits. I love the transforming gimmick in it, and they've kind of turned me on to orange suits. Though I do like from the beginning, you start out with mostly orange and white, and then you go into very orange and, of course, red. And then you come over here to mostly black. Great. It's a great evolution. Like, this guy showing off so many similarities to what came before. That's just great. And, of course, technologically... you know, becoming just so much bigger and better. I don't remember. These are supposed to be little missile pods, too. I don't believe they open up or anything, but that's what they are. So, sorry, just a little side thought there. Alright, guys, but that's actually going to be it for the HG00 line, guys. Or at least Gundam-wise. There are plenty of other suits, and we will be going over those in the future. But as for O-CTOBER, this is kind of pretty much the end. There's one more review left on Halloween Day, and it is the only other Gundam left in this series. Some of you will know exactly what I'm talking about, and it is, of course, on Master Grade Monday, so you kind of have an idea of what's coming. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed O-CTOBER, even though it was kind of rushed here at the end. I hope you liked these suits. Go out and buy them while you can, because some things like the Gun Archer right there are going to be very rare again sometime soon. So get them now while they don't cost too much and they're not being scalped. Because as you recall from that review, I paid way, way too much money for that girl. And of course, you know, if you love 00 and you don't have these, you need to. Especially the movie line, because you get to see the evolutions of all the suits. Alright guys, remember to like, subscribe, and always keep on building.